All right, so good afternoon, everyone. First of all, a very big thank you to all for joining the session. Very happy and excited to see all our dear joinees sharing the same screen. Let me introduce myself and the team. Myself, Niaz, I'm the product manager for SGBox at Bulwark. We have with us Mr. Milanth Oliver, who is the technical account manager at Bulwark for SGBox, and Ms. Sonali Basurai, who is the marketing manager at Bulwark. From our dear partner Pinnacle, we have Mr. Agil Raj, who is the technical pre-sales head, and Mr. Sagar Ruparal from the sales as a sales account manager. And from the vendor directly, from SGBox, we have Ms. Laura Ravanelli, who is the channel account manager, and she'll be one of the speakers for today's event. Before we start, I would like to take this opportunity to run you briefly through what's on for the agenda today. So today's highlight or the agenda for the webinar will be introduction to Bulwark, who is the preferred VAD for SGBox, and introduction to Pinnacle Smart Technology, who is the preferred value-added reseller for SGBox. And we'll be giving a brief synopsis on SGBox and an overview on SGBox product and services, followed by a product demonstration as well. For any questions, you can either raise the hand on the chat panel, or you can mention the question in the chat panel, which is addressed to all the panelists here. And also to help us to address your requirements, we would like to encourage you to fill up the feedback evaluation survey form on completion of this webinar. All right, so to give you an introduction on who we are, who Bulwark is, we are a cybersecurity specialized value-added distributor with more than 22 years of experience in the market. From last 4 years, we have a presence in India as well. And we have an extensive portfolio of around 24 plus renowned technology vendors. And we were established in 1999 in Middle East. And currently we have a dedicated office in KSA as well. Now, why we have to work with Bulwark, why the partner or the customer should work with us. Bulwark has an extensive track record in delivering world-class cybersecurity products and also with around the clock customer services. We have the best of breed technology vendors like SGBox, for which we are having the session today. We deliver around the clock service through our partners, trusted partners like Pinnacle, for example, across the entire GCC and other regions as well. And we also act as an extended arm for the security vendors here in the region, because of which we have a dedicated sales, marketing, and certified technical team as well. So without any further ado, I would like to pass on the mic to Mr. Sagar from Pinnacle Smart Technology to welcome all the attendees and to give an introduction on Pinnacle. Thank you.
Thank you, Niaz. A very good afternoon to one and all. My name is Sagar Ruparal. I'm a business development manager from Pinnacle Smart Technologies in infrastructure and cloud solutions. I welcome you all for this webinar, which is organized by Pinnacle and Bulwark together. I hope people will be knowing much in detail about a SIEM security platform. The product is SGBox, and we'll be having a detailed insights about SGBox in this webinar.
Welcome to everybody. I'm really pleased to be here today to present SGBox. I'm the channel account manager. So let's talk about SGBox. SGBox is an Italian company. We are based in Milan, and we are close to the city center, and we are selling our solution all around the world, starting from Middle East to Asia, Africa, and Europe. We are a security software factory, which means that we can always add the new functionality to the solution to satisfy the customer needs. And we have a local research and development area. As to our business model, we have an indirect sales, so we don't sell directly to customer, but through a distributor, such as Bulwark, and sellers such as Pinnacle. We are really happy and pleased to be here today to talk about our solution. And well, our solution can be addressed both to the SMB and to the... It is a modular solution, and a customer can decide to buy the module of the solution that best suits its the need that they have. Let's talk about the licensing. Let's talk about the licensing. Well, as to the licensing, our solution differs from all the other competitors on the market because it is based on the number of data sources, which means the number of EP that's sending logs to the solution. Our solution is placed on top of the customer infrastructure, and it allows the customer to see everything that is going on in the infrastructure. And if there are some anomalies, then our solution can detect them and gives alarm. And so also countermeasures can be taken in order to solve the problems. As to the licensing, since it is based on the number of EPs and not on the APS, so the volume of logs that are generated, our solution never stops, even if there are a high volume of logs. So even if there is, for example, a cyber attack, our solution never stops. And the licensing is clear and predictable. So it is a fixed price, and it never changes during the you that it is a modular solution. Customer can buy the basic module, which includes the system monitoring functions, the advanced log management functions, and the Windows Auditor function. Well, our solution allows to collect all kinds of logs from any kind of data sources, even from a customized solution. And so the basic module contains all this functionality. Then if a customer would like also to correlate, to elaborate logs, then the customer can choose the advanced license. The advanced license contains all the basic modules, of course, plus the log correlation, threat intelligence, and user behavior analytics. The threat intelligence is the possibility to see if there are some threats that are going on in the customer solution, while the user behavior analytics choose the premium. The premium license includes all the advanced modules, plus the SOAR. The SOAR is the security orchestration and automation response. This is the possibility to have an orchestration of actions in order to take countermeasures, so in order to remediate in case of cyber attacks or other anomalies in the customer environment. And then we have the vulnerability scan license. We sell this license as standalone, or it can be, of course, added to the other modules. And this is the possibility to scan if there are vulnerability on the customer hosts. I finished my some of our Middle East customers. As you can see, our solution has been implemented from government clients and also insurance clients. now we see the, some of our references. And as you can see, we have customers from the government area to the finance area, insurance area, and other markets. So our solution can be implemented in all kinds of markets, customer markets. So I finished my presentation.
Thank you, Laura. Milind, I would request you to please take the session from you.
Thanks everyone. So let me share my screen. So I hope like everyone can see my screen.
Yes, Milan.
Okay, so thank you once again for joining with us today. Myself Milind, working as a technical consultant. What I'll do is that I'll take you through the product presentation of SGBox, like explaining the features, functionalities, what we can offer to the customers, and then we can have a quick demo to show you how things can be managed using SGBox solution. So before moving on to the features, let me tell you why you need a solution like SGBox. Because when you see into an organization, you have like different types of applications. You have got different types of devices within your organization, and it is very difficult for everyone to manage these applications or these devices from different management consoles. Because like there are a lot of informations coming from these devices. You have to segregate this. You have to see what is critical, what is non-critical, what is informative, what is non-informative, and accordingly we have to manage the things. And like without a solution like SGBox, customers find it very difficult to manage. So that's why you need a solution like SGBox. So what we do is that we help you to collect all sort of information from your different types of devices. We can segregate things. We can put it up in a single dashboard so that you can see what are the critical things happening within your network, and you can take the actions accordingly. So moving on to the solution, these are the components or the features offered by SGBox. Starting with the log management. So log management is the primary component, we can say. This component, log management component, will help you to collect all sort of informations, all sort of logs from different data sources. What we do is that once we collect these logs, we will be signing and we will be encrypting these logs, because we have to make sure that there cannot be any alteration done to these collected information or collected logs. So we make sure that it is signed, encrypted, and stored within our drive. Then what we next do is that we will be passing these logs to generate events, because events are the informations which are which can be seen from the dashboard, or which can be viewed from the dashboard. So once the events are generated, we will be putting out the events inside the dashboard so you can see what things are happening within your infrastructure. So the events can also be fetched as a report. So if you want to schedule as a report, if you want to download it as a report, yes, there are also options for that one. So all sort of information collected from your various devices are encrypted, signed, and then generated into events, and will be provided back to you in a readable format. So that is what log management does. Then we have got event correlation and response system. So now we know that these are the events happening within my network. Now what we can do is that in case of any anomalous behavior or in case of any suspicious activities, what we can do, we can generate based on the collected information, we can take some actions. We can create certain correlation rules and we can take the action, such as, I'll give you a use case. Maybe there are some unauthorized login attempts onto my Windows machines or onto my applications. So that is an event which we have collected using our log management component. Now the next thing what we do is that we can define action against this event. Okay, so within like 10 seconds, within 20 seconds, there are like certain invalid login attempts. I will take an action such as like maybe notify the administrator, sending an email notification, or executing certain scripts. So we can define certain correlation rule along with a certain response. Then we have got like playbooks, which consists of all the actions which we can use within our correlation rule. So playbook are a wide range of like wide number of actions which you can use in case like to respond back to an event. Then we have got like AD engine component. So this is basically to monitor your Active Directory servers. So we can set up like certain threshold values. We can set up certain policies. Maybe within my Active Directory server, there are like n number of inactive accounts, or the accounts where the passwords are never going to expire, because like it is very difficult for you to go to the Active Directory server and to go through each and every account. So what we do is that we will connect to the AD server and we will pull out all the information. You can set up certain KPI thresholds, and in case if it is like reaching these threshold values, we can actually send out all the informations, or we will be able to notify you. Then the next component is system monitoring component. So this component is mainly to monitor your workstations as well as servers. We can check the performance, we can check the RAM, CPU usage, hard disk utilization, and all these things can be pulled out, and we'll be able to provide you like a good amount of information about like with respect to a system, how it is performing. And finally, we have got like the vulnerability management tool or component. So you know that like we have to fix the vulnerabilities in each and every devices, and that is like a big step to protect your servers, workstations. And with the help of vulnerability management component, what we can do is that we can actually do remote scans, and we can pull out if there is any open vulnerabilities. We will be providing a complete sort of reports, and using these reports, we can check what is the vulnerability score, how it can impact your devices, and accordingly you can do the patching. And on top of these components, we also provide you a couple of additional components such as UBA, user behavior analytics, which means that in case of like any anomalous behavior with respect to the users, we can trigger certain notifications, we can trigger certain alerts. We have got like threat intelligence feed. So threat intelligence feed is nothing but like a component which can be used to look for any suspicious communications going from your machine. So we can get the feed from like third-party devices. Maybe like if you have got like a notepad with a list of blacklisted IPs, what we can do is that we can check if there is any communication going to these IPs, and we can take the actions. And finally, we have got like advanced Windows auditor, which will help you to monitor your Windows devices in more advanced way. So we can monitor the network communications, the regex values, the processes running on your Windows machines, and we can take the actions accordingly. And this is like what we can offer as a solution. So you can use various components to monitor your different types of devices. Now, as we told you in the beginning, like if anyone has got any queries, please put in the chat session or Q&A session. So we'll try to address it like after the end of the presentation. Now, moving on to the deployment. So this is how the architecture looks like. We have got SGBox appliance. So this can be a virtual or a hardware appliance deployed. We have got a web console for managing the appliance. We have also got a multi-tenant console. So in case if you want to manage multiple customers, multiple locations, we have got like a multi-tenant console. And how we collect log is that like we can directly like configure a syslog on your applications to send the logs to the SGBox appliance. We can install an agent on your workstation servers to send the logs to the SGBox appliance. If it is a large network, we have got like a collector machine. Again, like it can be a virtual one or a hardware one, which will help you to collect the logs from your devices. So if you have got a huge network, we can deploy multiple collectors. So this will reduce the load on the SGBox appliance. and the collector will connect to the, will receive the logs from your devices, and it will pass on these logs to the XGBox appliance. And this collector can also be used in case if you have got like a remote branch office where you can deploy a collector at your remote location, and it will receive the logs from the applications devices, network devices, or the workstation servers, any devices, and it will pass the logs to the XGBox appliance. And this is like a typical infrastructure, how it looks like. Now what I'll do is that I'll show you the different options when it comes to the deployment. So we have got XGBox deployment. This is a simple network. We have got collectors placed in redundancy, which is like working based on a BIP IP. We have got like subnets where all your devices are located, and XGBox collector will receive the logs and it will pass on to the appliance. And when it comes to a segregated network, maybe like you have got like a DMZ firewall, a perimeter firewall, in between like your devices, yes, we can pass on this information, pass through the information through your firewall to the XGBox appliance. And it is always recommended to deploy the collectors in redundancy. So in case one fails, we will be still having the logs. And finally, for the remote and branch office deployment, we have got collectors deployed at your branch office, and we have got like branch firewall maybe connected with an IPsec VPN connectivity to the HO, and we have got XGBox appliance at your head office. So this is the different approaches which we can take when it comes to the deployment. As I told you, you can deploy like multiple collectors if you want to reduce the load. So maybe like for each network, you can deploy one collector and a central XGBox appliance, which will be receiving the logs from all the collectors. Now, how we process the logs. So basically what we do is that these are all your devices. You can see that firewalls, routers, Windows devices, applications. So there are like a lot of devices within your organization. What we do is that we will be receiving the logs in a raw format from these devices through our XGBox component. Once the logs are received, what we do is that we will sign the logs, raw logs, and we will be encrypting and saving it like within the drive. Because as I told you in the beginning, we have to make sure that there is no alteration done on the received raw logs. So once the raw logs are received, we will be making sure that like it is protected. You can at any time you can take a backup of these encrypted raw logs to an external storage, or you can restore the raw logs which you have backed up like previously. Now, based on the collected logs, raw logs, we will be passing these logs. We will be generating the events based on certain classifications. So we know that like, okay, the collected logs from like maybe from a Windows machine, it is classified, and it can be like an event can be generated based on this information. Maybe like it can be a logon event, it can be a process event. So there are different types of events with respect to a Windows machine. So we have got like classification engines which will help you to segregate the logs. And once these logs are generated, events are generated, we will be providing you a dashboard view. So from the dashboard, you can see that, okay, what is the log, what is the event generated, what action can be taken, whether you have to address it like on priority. All sort of information can be viewed from the dashboard. We have also got a reporting system which will help you to download the events as a report. We have got like a correlation engine which will help you to define certain rules to take an action based on the events. And this is how the log processing workflow happens within our solution. Now, there is always a data retention period, which means that like all the collected logs can be retained for like n number of days. So you can set up the retention date based on your requirement. Some customers go ahead with like 60 days. Some wants to retain the data for 1 year. And accordingly, you can define your own time frames for storing the logs. So there are different types of logs, raw logs, a copy of raw logs, encrypted logs are kept as well. Then we have got like generated events from different modules. So accordingly, you can define the retention period. Now, this is how the correlation engine works. So the collected informations are converted into events, and based on these events, we can define various response actions. So as I told you, in case of a logon failed, I need to take an action. So what I can do is that I can send an email notification to the administrator or to the department head. I can execute certain scripts. Maybe you want to deactivate the account on the Windows server. You can define a script and you can execute the script from SGBox itself. You can send out the messages. You can do a third-party API integration. Maybe I want to tell my my other device to take an action using an API call. So there are certain types of response which we can execute, which we can take in case of like an event. So this is how what we offer using our correlation engine. And moving on to the deployment option, we have got like a wide range of deployment option. We have got like private and public cloud deployment, so you can host it on your private or public cloud. We have got like on-premise based deployment. So as I said, we support both hardware as virtual based deployment. So you can set up like a virtual environment. You can host it like within your VMs. We have got like as a managed service offering. So if you want to get like a kind of like an MSP offering, yes, we have also got an option for that one. We have got SaaS-based deployment hosted within like SGBox Cloud. And finally, we have got like multi-tenancy deployment. So if you want to manage your infrastructure by Pinnacle or like by us, like, or if you want to manage multiple locations, we have got like multi-tenant deployment options. So these are the different types of deployment, and you can choose any of these deployment options. It is very easy to deploy. As I said, like if it is a cloud environment, you have to activate the account. Our team can help you out. Then we just need to deploy a collector within your infrastructure to send out the logs to the SaaS environment. If it is an on-premise deployment, we will provide you the OVF files. You just need to host it, give the IP, then you're good to go. Activate the license, configure the host, syslogs applications, then we will be able to receive the information from your various network devices. Now, like Laura has already covered the licensing module, but let me also go through it one by one again. We have got like different licensing options. So if you prefer to go with the log management, which is like the base license, it will help you out to receive the logs from your different devices and you can view it in your dashboard. Then we have got like SIEM bundle. So this includes all the things except the vulnerability scan. So network vulnerability scanner is not included in the SIEM bundle. So you will be getting all the remaining components such as like Windows Auditor, Threat Intelligence, UBA, event correlation and response. So all these modules will be included in the SIEM bundle. And finally, we have got like the NVS, Network Vulnerability Scan. So if you wish to scan your target devices using our module XGBox, yes, you can go ahead with the NVS as well. So this is very useful because like you know that like we have to make sure that the systems are patched properly. There are like every day there are like new vulnerabilities which has been identified, and we have to make sure that like we are up to the mark. We are actually closing these vulnerabilities within our devices. Okay, so you can also go with the NVS. Now we are offering both subscription as well as perpetual licensing options. So accordingly, you can choose. And how we differentiate from our competitors is that like because when you look into a third-party competitors, most of them like are providing a license based on events collected. Even a single workstation machines will be sending you a huge amount of events. So the license cost will be too much. It will be too much to handle. But what we are doing is that like we are actually considering two things. One is the component which you are selecting. It can be like a SIEM bundle. It can be like NVS component, network vulnerability scan component. The second thing is that how many devices you are having. What is the number of hosts which we are expecting to receive the logs. So these are the two things which we consider when it comes to the licensing part. So as I said, like other devices, they are like looking into the number of events, the storage space which is going to be utilized. So eventually the license cost will go higher. And in case if you want to add new devices in the future, You just need to add the purchase the additional license. It is very flexible. Maybe like I've got like maybe 50 more devices. Maybe in the next year, I can simply get like 50 additional license on top of the existing one, and there is no hidden cost apart from that. So the licensing is very flexible. Okay, so you can let us know what are the devices you are having, how many hosts, and what type of module you want to get, like you want to activate within your environment, and accordingly we can provide you the BOQ. And that's all about SGBox, the features. I believe like I'll be able to, I was able to provide you like an overview about the solution. Now what I'll do is that I'll take you through a quick demo. Like I'll run through the console, the dashboard, how things are managed using SGBox solution. So this is the console. I've got a web GUI where I can log in with my local account or my LDAP account. So you can integrate with your Active Directory servers, and you can manage different users, different roles and permissions for each user. Maybe I've got like a user who has got access to a specific department, the dashboard, the reports to a specific department. Yes, I can create a user, I can create a dashboard for him, and I can manage the user accordingly. So the first thing what you will be seeing is that the dashboard. So this is like a custom dashboard which I have set up. Basically, the type of information which I can see from the dashboard is that like I can see the logon failed. I can see the logon, successful logons from my different Windows machines. I can see the user accounts, okay, based on the logon activities. I can see the vulnerabilities reported on the target devices. I used to scan my servers, my web servers, my different types of applications using SGBox. So I can get to know that if there is any open vulnerability within it, then I can take the necessary action. We can also get this CVV score for each vulnerability. So you can go through the global website, website, their database, and you can search through the information, what exactly it is, how it can impact your systems. So these are all sort of informations I can fetch from the dashboard. It is completely customizable. You can add the widgets. You can select what sort of information you need to see. You can configure multiple dashboards. So I've got like few dashboards here. I'll select the dashboard. I can see that within my environment, I've got like Sophos device. I've got like AV from Sophos. I've got like firewall from Sophos. If I want to see what are the informations triggered, like generated by within my Sophos firewall or from my AV dashboard, I can pull out this information onto the SGBox. Now let me see if I can show you something with respect to Sophos events. I can see that there are certain events, the list of devices. I can see that there is an update failed. Okay, this is something which I need to look into. One of my machine, okay, this machine was trying to update, but it got failed. So we are providing you all sort of information from a central dashboard. I don't have to log into Sophos dashboard to see this event. I can get all these events from my SGBox dashboard, and I can take the necessary actions. I can based on this event, I can send a notification email to the Sophos administrator, so he can look into it and he can see why the system is not up to date, or the update got failed. Maybe I know the reason because I've not given the internet access, so it is seriously trying to do the update, and that's why it got failed. But there can be many other reasons. Maybe a service got down, or like the service is stopped. So there are so many things which can cause like the update failure. So using the SGBox dashboard, you can see the events. Now we can set up multiple dashboards. So as I said, you can create your own dashboard, create a new dashboard, give it a name, collect the logs using the widget, and you can then assign this dashboard to different users. Maybe I want a specific user to access this Sophos dashboard. So what I can do is that I can add the names. So this user will be having access to this dashboard. So this type of permissions can be set from the SGBox dashboard manager. The next thing is that users, we have got like local accounts as well as LDAP accounts. We can set up different roles and permissions. So this is me. I can say that I've got access to this group, this sort of informations. So you can define various user roles as well as permissions. Now we have got like props. So these are the collectors. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so these are the collectors which can be deployed within your network. The props are nothing but like the devices which can be used to collect logs on behalf of SGBox appliance. So I've got like big network. I don't want my SGBox appliance to go and collect all the information from the entire network. Instead, I will deploy collectors or props, and these collectors will go and fetch the information from different networks. You can configure the collector, which network they want to collect the information. So show the network and they will receive the information and they will pass on to the SGBox appliance. Then we have got like actions. So actions are nothing but various options which you can set. Here I've got like feeds. As I like during my presentation, I told you that we can receive the feeds, maybe a list of IPs. We can blacklist it. We can like the blacklisted IPs. We can notify the administrator in case someone is maybe a machine is trying to communicate to these IPs. So what I can do is that I can import the feeds here, like maybe a URL. You can put it like a URL. You can import it. And then you can, using these feeds, you will be able to like create various policies. So that's what we do with the actions. And finally, from the SCM, we have got like applications. So applications are nothing but the packages which are available in the SGBox. We have got like vendor integration, so we can integrate with various vendors. I've told you I've integrated with my Sophos Central, which is my AV. Using an API, you can integrate with different vendors to receive the logs, to create a specific dashboard for these vendors. We have got like packages for various devices. Maybe a customer is having Fortinet firewall. So I can receive, I can integrate, I can install the package, I can get a dashboard view similar to the FortiGate to see the events generated by the FortiGate firewall. All the updates and everything with respect to the SGBox appliance is done from here. Then we have got like log retention dates. So I can say that, okay, retain my logs for 1 week, or like I want to retain my logs for 3 months. So this is how you configure your retention period. Now moving on to the next component, which is the log management component. So here, what we have is that we have got like different types of analysis tools to see the logs, to see the collected events. So I've got like a multi-class analysis. What I need to do is that I want to pull out the events generated by Sophos Central like dashboard. So what I can do, I can select these events. I can select maybe the devices. I can select what type of information I need, and I can generate the events. So there is nothing much here. Let me see if I can search for anything. So it will generate the events accordingly, and it will provide you. Okay, here also I cannot see much events. So basically, this is what we do. We will be providing you like a selection tab where you can quickly select what type of events or what type of logs which you want to see according to the date, and you can pull out these informations in a more easy way. Let me show you another type of analysis. Maybe I can pull out certain reports from here. Yes, I got some type of reports. So here it is like the same type of information is available like in a pie chart format. So what I need to do is that I just need to select like the type of report. I can select, okay, the informations here. I can get like a detailed view. There is an invalid traffic information, some communications and be denied. So this way you can drill down into specific logs or events, and you can see what exactly has occurred. So this is like like a different, apart from the dashboards, kind of a different view where you can look into the informations generated or collected in a more detailed manner. Now we have got report sessions. So you can generate the reports at any time based on the events. You can schedule the reports. You can archive the reports which have been generated. Then we have got like correlation rule. Correlation rule are nothing but certain rules which you can define based on the generated events. So I've got like a correlation rule here, or let me create a new rule. I want to create a rule maybe on a weekend. Let me drag and drop the rule. On a weekend, in case if there is an authentication failed, let me search. Okay. Authentication failed for my Sophos XT firewall VPN connection. Okay. You can note down like on weekend, maybe an authentication failed for my VPN access. I want to take an action. So what I can do is that these are the different types of actions which I can take. I want to send an email notification to the administrator. So I'll put my email ID. I'll put the subject. So what SGBox does is that it will collect the information from my XT firewall, Sophos XT firewall. It will collect like authentication events from my firewall, and in case if there is an event generated on weekend for the authentication failed, it will quickly send out an email notification to the respective administrator. We have got like different types of events which you can use based on different platforms. Let's say for the Windows, okay. So for the Windows, like maybe like I want to see the logon events. So there are different types of events which you can use. You just need to drag and drop it to the right side, and you can create. You can easily create an action based on a generated event or a detected event. And these are the different types of action. If I want to send execute a script, I can execute a script. I can call a script. If I want to call an API, yes, I can do that. We have also got like another type of option. Let me just go to the join rules. And this is another type of event which you can generate. Maybe there is an logon failed for a Windows machine 3 times within 10 seconds. That is like a threshold value which I'm defining. And in case if there is a logon failed on a Windows machine 3 times within 10 seconds of time frame, what I'll do is that I will be creating an event. So this way you can also create an event. So various options for generating an event, or like notifying an administrator or taking an action. Now, moving on to the next module, which is the network vulnerability scan. So here, what I can do is that I can scan my target devices to look for any vulnerabilities. I've got like a couple of scans already completed. Let me see if I can show you a report. So I've got a scan completed yesterday on my 2 of my devices. I want to see the report. Let me select a technical report, detailed technical report. I can see the report. And this is the score which has been generated based on the completed scan. I can look into the score. I can see what exactly it is on the target machine, what impact it can create, what is the solution we can take to fix this vulnerability, to close this vulnerability. So we have got like this option. We will provide you an option to scan your target device. We will provide you a detailed scanning report which you can look into and which you can use to address these open vulnerabilities. And that's what we do with the help of NVS. Then system monitoring tool, which will help you to monitor your systems. So we have got like various scripts which can be created. So I've got like 3 scripts which will monitor the systems based on different criteria, such as I'm sending an ICMP request. If the ping request I'm not getting from the system, I will generate an event. I will notify the administrator. if the hard disk is critical or if the CPU usage is critical, I can create different types of script and I can put it in my dashboard so that my administrators can can see these events. We can also create a map. Maybe I can let me see. I can import a custom map like this. What I can do is that I can drag and drop these events into a device. So what I'm doing here is that I'm monitoring my Active Directory server. If the ping is I'm not getting a ping response from my Active Directory server, it will highlight it in a red icon. So I can see that, okay, there is something on my server. I can get like an easy visualization on my network and I can take the respective action. You can drag and drop these things onto the respective devices and you can call this on my SGBox like the dashboard. So it will notify you in case of an event. Now the next module is Active Directory module. So this is like still in beta. There is more to come, like in future there will be more features added onto it. So what I'm doing here is that I've integrated my Active Directory server, okay, like this. And what I'm doing, I'm pulling out the information from my AD server. I can see that there are actually 20 accounts where the password is not going to expire, and that too administrative account. There are disabled users, 3 of disabled users, because like most of the time, every customer system administrator find it very difficult to go through each and every account stored on your AD server. And if you are looking into the compliance, there are certain compliance policies where you have to rotate the passwords every 45 days, 60 days. You should not be having any inactive accounts, administrative accounts on your AD servers. So proper auditing team will find it out, and maybe like you might need to pay a fine, like in case if you are not meeting up with the compliance. So what we do is that we will look into your AD server, we will pull out all this information, and we can provide you the exact logs, such as what are the inactive users, disabled users. You can click on it and you can see, okay, these are my 3 inactive disabled users on my AD server. What I can do is that I can go to the AD server, I can deactivate these accounts or I can delete these accounts. So you can also keep certain threshold values, such as like in case if the inactive users is disabled users is reaching a value of 5, that is high, send a notification email to specific recipient. So you can know that there is up to 5 disabled users on your AD server, then you have to take an action. So this is what we do with the help of our Active Directory AD engine. So it's very easy to configure. You just need to integrate with your Active Directory server, and the system will pull out the information from your AD server, and then you can act accordingly. So this is what we are offering to our customer. I hope like I've given you like an overview about the console, the features, what we offer, the dashboard view, how things can be managed. Now, if we have got any questions, yes, I will be happy to address it out. Anything on the Q&A session? Let me bring up my Q&A. So if you have got any questions, yes, please put in the Q&A session. I'll try to address it out now. So I've got a question. How is the license? Is it calculated based on volume of data? No, the license is based on 2 things. The type of module which you want to use. Some customers go with the like complete package, except the NVS. But if you also prefer to go with the network vulnerability scan, yes, we can also provide you as a package. So the components, the license which you want to use, the components which you want to use. Then the second thing is that number of hosts I want to receive the logs. So here I've got like around 9 IPs where I'm receiving the logs. So it is based on the number of hosts as well as the components which you want to use. The other competitors, as I told you, they are looking into other things, the events generated or the storage consumed. So the license cost will go high. But like for us, it is just, we are not looking into the events generated. We are only looking into the IPs as well as the components. Yes, we can do the system monitoring without the agents as well. So we just need to enable the SNMP service on the Windows system. So the question was the system monitoring module, will it work without the agent? Yes, we don't need the agent. We just need to enable the SNMP. So it is based on the SNMP logs. We will be collecting, we will be pulling out the informations. So another question is like, do we have integration with Forcepoint? There are certain integrations. We can always integrate with like any devices, like with respect to syslog. If you are able to send the logs to us, we will be able to get the logs and we will be able to analyze it. The next thing is that like maybe the dashboard. The next thing what we have to check is that like whether we can set up a dashboard like for the respective devices. So Forcepoint was the question. What I can do is that I can check with the team if Forcepoint integration is readily available. If so, like we can, if not, we can look for the all sort of feasibility, and maybe like we can try to integrate with the Forcepoint application to get like a dashboard view from the Forcepoint device. So maybe like Andrew you will be able to address that question. Maybe like Forcepoint DLP integration is already available or not.
For now is available Forcepoint integration, and in case for any other commercial solution, we can execute the integration or directly from our support or directly inside the web console of SGBox. But for now, it's supported Forcepoint integration. I confirm it.
Okay. Thank you, Andrew.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Milan. I could see one more question regarding the deployment, whether it's on-premise or cloud.
So the deployment options, there are different types of deployment options. Let me bring up that slide. Okay, so we have got like all sort of deployment, like all of these deployment options. We have got like on-premise, SaaS-based, as a managed service. You can host it in your private or public cloud. We also got like a multi-tenants, maybe managed by your partner. So there are different types of deployment options. Yes. So I believe like that's it. So what I'll do is that I'll just pass on to Niaz. Okay, Niaz, over to you. Maybe like you can add like few more points, then we can wind up the session for now.
Thank you, Milind. So once again, thank you all for attending the webinar. It was a pleasure to have you all with us. Thanks, Milind and Laura, for the wonderful presentation here. And I would like to convey my special thanks to Mr. Akhil Raj and the whole Pinnacle team for their effort to bring all of us together and help us to initiate this session. And I hope everyone have enjoyed and learned something from the presentation. So for any kind, any future requirement or product demo, please do let us know. We can take it offline and have a one-to-one session as well. And for any support, you can engage our call or email as well. And also request everyone to fill up the feedback evaluation survey form that you will be receiving after the completion of session. And I hope this will conclude the session here. Good day to you, everyone, and thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Niaz.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So happy back.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you.